So whether you've tried writing blogs before and just found it super time consuming, or you've always wanted to start creating blog posts and just never gotten around to it, this video is going to save you a lot of time and help you finally start creating blogs consistently and that are optimized for SEO. Now today I'm going to be going over a workflow that I actually created for a client of mine. They were nice enough to let me show this off inside of a video. And what I'm going to start by doing is showing you an example blog post that was actually generated from this workflow. And then I'm going to walk you through this workflow step by step and show you exactly what's happening inside of it. So if we go over to my client's page here, this is a blog post that was generated entirely from this workflow. They are a stroopwafel manufacturing company. So stroopwafels are Dutch cookies, and what this is talking about is just Dutch phrases and what they mean literally versus what they actually mean. But this just gives you an idea of how this is generated. You can kind of skim through this as you will, but yeah. So I'm going to jump back over to N8N and start walking you through this workflow. Now really quickly before I actually dive into this workflow, if you're a business owner looking to automate your blog post, or you just want to know how you can use AI inside of your business, then schedule a call using the link in the description and we can have a quick chat on how this might look specifically for you and your business. So now I can start walking you through what is actually happening inside of this workflow. So I'm going to start here on the left side with a Telegram trigger. Telegram is a messenger platform, and this just allows the client in this case to send a message containing the topic for the blog post. And then once that message is received, it will actually start the rest of these steps here afterwards. So first we have an AI agent that is in charge of finding SEO keywords. The chat model here we are using is Gemini. Gemini is excellent at being able to search the web and find super up-to-date and relevant information for us. Next, we are giving it access to two different tools. The first one is a Tavly web search tool, so it can easily search the web using both Gemini and the Tavly web search tool. And then next, we are giving it access to a Pinecone vector store. So inside of this vector store, I have listed the company information. So it's a giant document containing things like the company's brand voice, marketing strategy, style guidelines, target audience, things like that. Everything that this agent would need to know to find relevant keywords. So if we actually open up this prompt, I can show you a little bit more of why we're giving it access to that information. So here we're just asking it to find 30 keywords, and then we are making sure that the keywords not only help the company's website rank highly, but we also want the keywords to be relevant to the company and especially the topic that we've listed here, which is sent through Telegram. So here we're saying it should be relevant to the company's goals and the marketing strategy. Also, it should rank highly in terms of the search volume, low competition, and then high search intent here. And then here for the system message, we're just saying you're a marketing expert, specializes in blog writing, you're in charge of finding keywords, little bit of information about the company, and then you should find a list of keywords, only respond to the keywords, and then again we're giving it the search criteria there. So then up next we have the outline. This is made by an OpenAI assistant. So inside of OpenAI you can create different vector stores using the storage here. So you can make a vector store, and again I've uploaded that document of company information, and then we can create an assistant off of that vector store so it has access to all of those documents inside of the vector store, and then we can prompt it with the system instructions. And in this case we're just telling it to create an outline for a blog post, and in the prompt here we're just passing in that topic and then giving it some instructions as to the sort of things that it should include about the company, so brand voice, product information, etc. And yeah, we're just asking OpenAI to create an outline. OpenAI is fantastic at creating a logical flow of things, and that is exactly what we want inside of this outline. So once we have a list of SEO keywords and an outline for the blog, we are then sending it to a final AI agent here, which is in charge of combining those two things into the final blog post. So here we're using an Anthropic model, Claude in this case, to actually write the final draft for the blog. So Claude is excellent at not only taking on a specific role, but also at writing and writing very well that is easy for the reader to read and retain the information. So we're giving it access to a number of tools here. Again, that company information page. So it's the same page for all 3 steps. And then next we are giving it access to a competitor example of a blog post. So this is a competitor example that is actually ranked very highly. And then we're giving it access to 2 different examples of company blog posts that this client has actually written themselves. So using these 3 examples, the AI knows how to kind of format and the appropriate way it should go about writing these and structuring these blogs. And then lastly, we're giving it access to that web search tool again, just in case it needs to do any final web searches to find any information when actually writing the final draft for this blog. So this final blog draft, the prompt here, so we're listing out the tools. We're saying that it should align with the brand identity, the tone, the style for the company. Giving it the outline, the keywords, and then we are just saying to match the branding, maintain the style, only reply with the blog post. Some formatting specifications there, and then again just only reply with the blog post. Just makes it a little bit easier on ourselves later. So then up next we have 2 OpenAI assistants. First one is just creating the title for the blog post, so we're feeding in the final draft here and just saying create an engaging title. And then next we are creating the slug, which if you're not familiar with blog post, the slug is the back of the URL. So you have the regular domain here for your website. This path usually is not there in most cases. You might have a path, but the slug is this the ending here. So in most cases, it's basically just the title of the blog with, you can see dashes instead of spaces here in between the words. But that's what you know. So if you see slug, that's what it is. And then what we are doing here is we are creating a document, a Google Doc in this case, inside of a shared folder. So both me and the client have access to this shared folder, and it creates a Google Doc, and then it adds all 3 of these components here. So the body for the blog, the title, and the slug. It adds all 3 of those to a Google Doc, and I'll show you really quickly. Just looks like this. You have the slug, the title, and then the blog post here. And then we are sending a message back to the user. So they have a link inside of this message to go to the shared folder inside of Google Drive. They can then open up the blog that's just been created, make any changes they want to the slug, the title, or the blog posts. They can edit everything in there. And then once they finish editing it, there is a webhook attached to this Telegram message. So they can they can just click post or do not post. So once they finish their edits, they can click post. That will finish out these 2 steps here and then route you down towards true. So once they've selected post, we are then getting that Google document, and this gets any updates, any changes that they might have made to that document. This little bit of code here parses through the text and gets out those 3 elements: the title, the slug, and the blog. And then what we are doing is we are creating a WordPress post. This specific client uses WordPress. So we're creating a blog post inside of this step right here with those 3 elements: the slug, the title, and the blog. And then finally, because this step creates a draft for the post, and since they've already read it, approved it, and made any changes they want, we are just changing that post from a draft to actually publishing it here. So yeah, hopefully that gave you an idea as to what this workflow is actually doing and how to go about creating these blogs. Like I said at the beginning of this video, if you want one of these created for yourself, your own business, book a call using the link in the description, and I'd be more than happy to chat with you and see how this might work for your business specifically. And yeah, as far as the development part goes, I do want to really quickly point out this error handling section here. You might have noticed this at the beginning, but this is a error trigger. So whenever this workflow has an error, this node is then triggered. And what this does is it sends a message back to the client in this case, with a message saying that this workflow has failed. Please try again, or send me, the owner, a message. You can also set up 2 Telegram steps here. So one, you can have the connection for the client's Telegram account, and then the second step can be a connection to your Telegram account. So you can send 2 Telegram messages, one to the client, one to you, just to let both of you know that the workflow has failed, and you might need to make some changes to this workflow to make sure it doesn't fail in the future. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, drop a comment below, and I'm more than happy to help. If you found it helpful, leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, that's all I have for you today. Have a good one.